Hi, I'm Alex with Kodiak Woodcraft. In today's video, we're stepping outside of the woodshop. We're covering how to paint an exposed basement ceiling. This video is going to cover the high-level process, some tips and tricks, and then some things that I wish I had considered before taking this job on. As you can imagine, this project didn't lend itself super well to live filming, but I'll show you a little bit from yesterday, and as I take down these tarps, I'll tell you about the rest of the project.
Okay, right out of the gate, I want to show you a few shots of what my basement ceiling looked like originally. In these photos, I had just taken down the original drop ceiling, and that came with a lot of patching, vacuuming, and cable management in its own right. It truly was the project before the project. The first main step in the paint job was to tape off what would become the bottom border of the ceiling. The laser level came in clutch here and ended up creating what was probably the only level straight line in the entire room. At this point, I was planning to trim the top of the walls anyway, but I wanted to do a nice job taping to leave my options open. I'm glad I did. When it came time to select a paint, a friend recommended this particular matte black dryfall paint. It's marketed for big commercial spaces, stadiums, that kind of thing. However, it also seems to be a popular choice for painting basement ceilings. I ended up using 10 gallons of the product. I know there are some of you out there who are considering doing this work by brush or otherwise by hand. And if that's you, more power to you. I can't imagine doing that for anything other than touch-ups and maintenance. In my case, there were tons of pipes and ducts and things to deal with in the ceiling. The sprayer was the only way to go. I used this Magnum X7, which is somewhere in between a hobbyist sprayer and a light-duty professional unit. It worked well, and the time savings spraying more than made up for the setup time and the cleanup time of the unit. I'm going to show you a few moments of the actual spraying work. This was early on. It took me a few minutes to get acclimated and to get my technique dialed in, but once I did, things moved quickly. The actual spraying took much less time than the prep work did. Alright, so now we're going to jump ahead in time. The paint job is finished, everything has dried, and I'm ready to inspect the results. I'm going to take this time to share what worked and what didn't. First, the wins. Spraying a little bit of the top of each wall ended up looking great. It solved for all sorts of issues, including crooked drywall, imperfections, and so on. I originally thought there was a pretty good chance that I'd have to trim the top of the walls. I don't think I'm going to do that. I was also quite happy with the ability of this paint to hide imperfections. I didn't show you the worst of it. I'll just say that this basement ceiling was never meant to see the light of day. The matte black hid just about everything. My opinion is that I would never do this in white paint, but that's just me. I'll also share a few things that didn't work out exactly as planned. First, it was tough to work around all the nooks and crannies in the ceiling. There were several spots that I oversprayed, usually because I was trying to reach some obscure crevice or something. I didn't have much dripping, but there were spots that I could tell were way too heavy. I hit those with a roller, evened them out, and once again, that flat black was extremely forgiving. I also wasn't thrilled with my tape lines. I had taped and put up my tarps several days in advance. Maybe that was part of the problem, but I got more bleeding than I'd hoped. Not the end of the world. I'm able to fix it, but it did add some extra time and effort to the project. My final comments on the project just surround the fact that it's challenging on two fronts. The first is its permanence. There's no going back here. Also, if your basement is anything like mine, you're going to have to throw perfectionism out the window and simply do your best to work with the cards you're dealt. For me, I'm thrilled with the way that this turned out, and I'd do it again. I might even do it in my woodshop. Please make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss my next video. Thanks for watching.